There are muscle cars. There are legends. And then there are Australian legends. Cars born not in Detroit. Not in Munich. Not in Maranello. But on Australian roads. Built for Australian conditions. Australian distances. Australian heat. Australian drivers. And few cars represent that spirit better than the Ford XC Falcon Cobra. Even today, nearly 50 years after its release, mention the words XC Cobra to an Australian enthusiast and watch what happens. Their eyes light up. Because the Cobra wasn't just another Falcon. It was special. It was rare. And it became one of the most desirable Australian performance cars ever built. But what if Ford Australia never disappeared? What if Broadmeadows remained open? What if the Falcon survived? What if the Cobra continued evolving into the modern era? This is our answer. The 2028 XC Falcon Cobra. To understand the future, we first need to understand the legend. The year is 1978. Ford Australia has a problem. Production of the XC Falcon is ending. A number of hardtop bodies remain. Rather than simply disposing of them, Ford Australia decides to do something remarkable. Create a limited edition performance halo car. The XC Falcon Cobra. Only 400 examples would be built. And they would become automotive history. Finished in white with blue racing stripes, inspired by the American Shelby Cobras, the XC Cobra instantly stood out. Aggressive. Muscular. Unmistakably Australian. Many were fitted with Ford's famous 351 cubic inch Cleveland V8. An engine that quickly became legendary. Simple. Reliable. Powerful. And capable of producing one of the greatest exhaust notes ever heard on Australian soil. The Cobra arrived during the dying days of the great Australian V8 era. And because of that, it became something special. A final celebration. A last roar before the industry changed forever. Or at least that's how the story ended in our timeline. Imagine another. A world where Ford Australia remained committed to performance. A world where the Falcon never died. A world where the Cobra continued evolving for another 50 years. Welcome to the 2028 XC Falcon Cobra. At first glance, the bloodline is obvious. The white paint remains. The blue racing stripes remain. The long bonnet remains. The muscular stance remains. And perhaps most importantly, the attitude remains. This is not a retro recreation. It's an evolution. The car sits lower and wider than the original. The body has been refined using modern aerodynamic modeling. Every vent, every intake, every curve, every spoiler serves a purpose. Yet despite all the technology, one glance tells you exactly what it is. An XC Cobra. The front end pays tribute to the original with distinctive quad-round headlights. A design that Australian enthusiasts instantly recognize. But now they're powered by adaptive matrix LED technology capable of illuminating hundreds of meters ahead while automatically adjusting around oncoming traffic. The past and future working together. Then we arrive at the heart of the machine. Because every great Falcon is defined by its engine. And this one is no exception. Under the bonnet sits a supercharged 5.0-liter V8 producing over 800 horsepower and 950 Nm of torque. That's more than double what the original Cobra produced. Power is sent through a modern 10-speed transmission to the rear wheels. Because some traditions deserve to survive. Performance is astonishing. 0 to 100 km/h takes just 3.4 seconds. Top speed exceeds 320 km/h. Yet despite those numbers, this isn't merely a drag strip weapon. Because handling matters too. The original XC Cobra was brilliant for its era. But engineering has moved on dramatically. The 2028 Cobra benefits from adaptive suspension, active dampers, performance traction systems and enormous Brembo brakes. The result is something once considered impossible. A Falcon that corners. A Falcon that stops. A Falcon that genuinely competes with the world's best performance cars. Manufacturing has transformed as well. The original XC Cobra was built using traditional steel construction and manual assembly techniques. The modern version uses advanced high-strength steel, aluminum and carbon fiber components. Computer simulations evaluate crash performance, aerodynamics and structural rigidity before a single prototype is built. The result is safer, lighter, stronger, and more capable than any Falcon before it. Yet perhaps the most important change isn't mechanical. It's philosophical. The original Falcon was built for Australia. The modern Falcon remains built for Australia. Engineered to handle extreme heat, long distances, country roads, mountain passes, and everything in between. Because that's what made Australian performance cars different. They weren't designed for perfect roads. They were designed for real roads. The interior reflects that same philosophy. Luxury where it matters. Technology where it's useful. No gimmicks. No distractions. A digital instrument cluster sits alongside physical performance controls. The driver remains the center of the experience. Because this is still a Falcon. And Falcons were always built for drivers. Today's customers demand connectivity, safety, comfort, efficiency, performance. The 2028 XC Falcon Cobra delivers all of it. But unlike many modern performance cars, it never forgets its roots. The original XC Cobra represented the end of an era. The 2028 XC Falcon Cobra represents something different. A future that never happened. A future where Australian manufacturing survived. A future where Ford Australia continued building world-class performance cars. And perhaps a reminder of what this country was capable of creating. The 2028 XC Falcon Cobra. Australian muscle. Reimagined. The legend reborn. And for one moment, you can almost hear the Cleveland V8 rumbling across the Australian outback once again.